Thank you for listening to the Finding Neverland podcast. Finding Neverland is a Christian metalcore band based in Denver, Colorado. This episode was broadcasted live.
What's up, man?
What is up? How we doing?
Good.
Awesome. Drawing with my camera here.
It's all jacked up.
Yeah, hold on one second. There we go.
Well,
All right, welcome everyone. We're back. How you doing? Welcome. This is
welcome everybody.
This is the Finding Neverland podcast. I got all kinds of stuff on my screen right now. Hold on. There we go. Welcome to the Finding Neverland podcast. We are a Christian metalcore band called Finding Neverland. So thank you so much for tuning in. This is our live Bible study podcast. Thank you so much for listening or watching live. We do this live every Friday night on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you're watching live, we always ask that don't hesitate to say you're watching or come join us with our conversations, whether it's about God, Scripture, or our band. We love hearing from each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. If you missed the live episodes, don't worry. We post them on Wednesday nights. The podcast's edited, so follow us on Spotify, or our YouTube page, where we post every episode there. And we are a metalcore band, so check out our music. We are on Spotify, Apple Music, all the platforms. This is episode number 69, I believe.
Nice.
So yeah, episode 69. We will be having someone join us at around 7:30. So stay tuned for that. But as always, we are joined by our guitar player, Luke Weaver. How you doing?
Hello. Doing okay, man. Doing pretty good.
Awesome, buddy. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. So this episode is going to be a little different. We usually have maybe like a passage we go over, or or just we do Bible study. But this episode, we like to do these every now and then. We were kind of doing them a lot when we first started the podcast.
Yeah.
It was just like Q&A, open discussion stuff. And so that's what this episode is. So if you're watching live, ask a question or, tell us hello. We're just kind of going to be chatting, hanging out for the hour. And we're mostly going to just share on some of the things that we feel God is doing in our lives and in the people around us. And I feel God is really, really doing some amazing things. And also, let us know if anybody needs prayer or anything like that. So,
heck yeah.
Yeah, did I cover everything? I think that's all.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, good job, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we used to do open discussions starting out, and we were able to fill up an hour pretty good, and I think it was always fruitful, but it was definitely on both of our hearts to just share a testimony about our recent days and personal lives, what we've been doing with the band musically, and the live shows we played recently, and just the people we came across and interacted with during those events, and just things that surprised us, and this is coming from somebody who frequently, I'm talking about myself, frequently feel like I'm not hearing from God like I want to, or like I think I should be hearing from Him when I am always praying about certain things. And it's the answers that we've gotten recently that show me it's just not what I thought it was, as far as the two-way communication that I think I should be having. Is more of a, okay, now you can look at this, or now I'm going to show you this. And it's the hunger I have for that all the time that has me thinking, oh, I'm not really hearing from God, and my mind is already deceiving myself that He's not listening, or He's not answering my questions or my problems. Other people that I pray for, and I just had this discussion with my dad the other day, that it doesn't seem like there's one person in my life that's not a professing believer that isn't, or that is a professing believer that isn't going through some pretty difficult times in the past few months, or even days, or that, like, for a year or two. And it's all culminating, and we all just kind of have some big things on our plate right now, where I'm like, this is unbelievable. And we're all really, and the thing is, my dad's going to church really, really good and doing a lot of stuff that he just decided this is something I can't live without now. And he says, I think this is just I'm gonna get attacked a little bit. Life is life, but you can over spiritualize a lot of things and say, oh, the devil's after me and this and that. But at the same time, what's normal, and what's a little bit worse than normal. You just you can make that distinction. I think the Holy Spirit kind of gives us that pressure of being like, yeah, you're going through something that's not, it's temporary, just like everything in life is. But you just know it's something that was kind of sent from beyond to to really test you or to make you stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Like
man.
just the other day, we had our boiler for our hot water go out right in the evening 2 days ago, and
Mm.
so we went to sleep that night, and I was like, oh, it's not working, and that heats our entire house also. So we went to bed. It got cold during the night, and in the morning we were all cold. We didn't have any hot water, and the next 2 days, we found out we had to replace the entire system, and also found out it's going to cost like $20,000 to even get that done. And then I'm like, well, this is going to be something we got to just deal with. And my dad didn't even get mad about it. He's just like, or didn't even react really. And we're going to have to figure out how to pay for that, of course. But they've already fixed it. Yesterday, they were up here already putting it in, and we got heat in the house again. We can take showers. And I'm like, what? What is this? I don't know. I just thought this was something that's like going to be a devastating event, but just having faith and going through the steps one at a time to figure out how do you fix this problem. I'm learning a lot, in life on how to kind of navigate certain perils that seem uh, like, well, we're not getting over this, or we're never coming out of this situation. Um,
Mm.
just, and also just feeling not worthy of a lot of it, the blessing and definitely thankful for everything lately, where it's right in my face. Like I can't write it off as coincidence. I can't write any of this stuff off as coincidence. And I think that's the life of a believer, really. If you're in it and you're actually paying attention to everything, it's like, when it says to be sober minded, that's what he's talking about, is to make sure you don't miss some of these things. And a lot of it is in retrospect, like some of the stuff we're going to talk about. It's like we realize, oh,
Yeah.
that's what was happening back then, and now it's being fulfilled. And you're like, oh man,
Mm.
I could have never known. I just had
Yeah,
faith and never gave up, on it. So
dude, you said something. Yeah, yeah, you were struggling with feeling worthy of God's blessings, and I struggle with that too. But at the same time, I hear God say, "Yeah, you're not worthy of my blessings,"
mm,
and and it's like a reminder of just how good He is. Every good gift comes from Yahweh. Everything that is good. That's what the Word of God says. So because He is good, and and at the end of the day, it's like no, we can't earn anything. Um,
yeah,
but he's good to those who love him, man. I mean, and that's just the way that I see it with this band. If many of you don't know, we played our first headlining show uh, as Finding Neverland uh, last Saturday on March 1st at the Larimer Lounge, and
hmm
it was incredible, man. I don't know, Luke, if you want to kind of share first of how it went for you, and maybe what um, I don't know,
sure,
just what some insights on that, how that night went. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Lord,
Yeah,
help us to speak your words and give us the words you want us to speak, Lord. Um,
sure.
this show, been our second show as a group with this lineup of players, and
Hmm.
you can go from everything from getting the show to booking it to having one of the bands drop off a week before the show, even when this was already 2 months planned ahead,
Yeah,
and then having to find another member or another group to play, and then we owe it to Nation uh, coming in at the last the last week. He only had a week to prepare his set, and he did all these backing tracks and performed in front of everyone and opened the show up like I've never seen anything done before. And I've been doing this or been going to shows as a fan since 2008, and it was just something that was really different and noticeable. That I was like, this is the example of the amount of work you put into something, you get the result for it. Uh, and then and speaking about our band, yes, we put in a certain amount of work to it, but I think there's so many things that shouldn't be happening or shouldn't be the way they are unless God's finger was on it. And uh, you take this idea, and I guess I can speak on it. Have a duty to speak on this. It's my responsibility, being one of the original people in the band 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago, and I can sit here and say this is unprecedented for me. Not knowing that this would ever be going on again, we wouldn't be playing Finding Neverland songs again, and just the people that came and said we want to do this again. Justice Sutton, he used to be the guitar player for Finding Neverland, and he came and contacted us out of the blue. It seemed like when we were looking for more than just me and James to play this music with, and he's like, "Yeah, I just feel like I've seen you guys, what you guys are doing, and I want to be a part of it again." And then we met, for pizza one night, and he said, this is one thing about it though. I kind of want to play drums this time, and we were both just like, "Do it, man!" And
Yeah.
and
mind
this is
you,
something he
we
had to
had gone
practice,
through we had gone through 3 drummers who said they wanted to join, and then they quit, within like a
Yeah,
month.
basically, yeah,
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 so we were very much like, this is a blessing, because it's been very difficult to find a drummer that was passionate about being in the band. Yeah.
yeah, totally. And then Kyle comes, like, not only like 2 months later, we find Kyle through unseen avenues of, I think it was on Bandmix. I don't know if this was Bandmix too, but you created a profile that week, and he responded to it, and it was like, this is something else right here. Like, it's not like we put up Craigslist ads every single week or something. This was okay, we're gonna put it out here, and just that step of faith that James took to put this to start this account on Bandmix, which is where you find other musicians that want to play music. He was like, "Hey, I play guitar, and I'm a Christian guy too." And just meeting him, and playing guitar with him the first time, I was like, this is the guy. This is the guy we're gonna go with. And
Yeah, and
everybody's
crazy.
attitudes and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the crazy thing was the band mix thing. You were just hanging out at my place, and I remember
Mm-hmm.
we were just talking like, how are we going to find members? And something just popped in my head: make a profile on Bandmix. That's
Mm-hmm.
something. Being God, uh, um, it was just very, very like, I was very sure that's what we were supposed to do in that moment. And I just sat there and made profile when you were over, and then it was
Yeah.
just like, that's just God's timing. Sometimes they'll just be like, you're just like, what are we doing? What is going to happen? When is something going to happen? And then all of a sudden you feel like he's telling you to do something right then in that moment. And I really feel like that's how he does a lot of things. And it just was that perfect timing of where we made that profile, and then Kyle reached out to us pretty quickly thereafter.
Yeah, that's not a coincidence to me.
No.
Um, I'll probably repeat some of this stuff when Nation comes on. That's who's going to be our guest tonight. In about
Yeah.
12 minutes, I think he's going to come on. But just little details too, man, where it's like, we only have 5 songs right now that we want to play live, and that's about 20 minutes if you play them back to back. We designed an intro to be played that was like 1 minute and 30 seconds long. We had a sample of Maddie Montgomery preaching the word that was like a minute or so in the middle of our set. And then, of course, we took breaks in between songs to talk to the venue and crowd and, just prepare for the next song and whatnot. And then as soon as we played the last note of Robot Powered Island, it was 30 minutes or 31 minutes. And it was just like, this is, wow, we were supposed to, everybody had a 30-minute set that night. And so it was the exact time that we had not rehearsed any of this. We had not rehearsed this is the exact time we're going to stop or start. And I know comedians are big on that too. Like they actually get a light that flashes to them, like flashes a light saying you've got 1 minute or something that you got to be done with your act so the next guy can come up. And even they're not looking at a clock the entire time. So it wouldn't have mattered if we were short or long on the set. It would have just, even if we weren't headlining the show, but just to be the last band of the night and God be like, this is the icing on the cake right here. You guys, this is like he's sealing the deal almost, like this is just. And then people were saying, oh, we want one more song and stuff. And I didn't never think I'd hear that because I don't know if I've ever heard that playing in a live band. Because usually it's like you can't do one more song, you got to let the next band come up. But it being the last band of the night, if we had one more song, people were like, I'm down to stay and listen to more of this. And we had Nation come on for the last song too. And just he opened the show and then also came up and did guest vocals on a song that he was on 10 years ago also that he did guest vocals on. And then he was able to scream his parts of the song also. And just how this is all kind of like, he's like, I'll open for the show. And then he's like revisiting something that he was doing 10 years ago. It's crazy. And it's not like we've all been doing this for 10. It's a 10-year break, that all of this has come back into effect. So I definitely feel overwhelmed by a lot of it. And I think maybe Justice can probably speak the next strongest about it being involved 10 years ago also. And just, I'm sure he's got a lot of things that have been shown him about what's even going on right now, and how this stuff connects to itself. And, I just see there's a couple scriptures I found that I wanted to share, but I'll wait until Nation comes on. But it's just everything in the Bible is like this, and this is our lives. You have the Old Testament and the New Testament, which is obviously hundreds of years apart from one another, thousands of years, and from different places and different people and different times, different languages. And then you see that picture of all these things intersecting and going from this book to this book, this verse to this verse, and it's just a big, almost like a rainbow of lines that you see going across, where there's like 33,000 cross references or something, that we have between all the books. And man, we're definitely getting cross referenced right now in life. And I guess I would encourage everyone, even if you're not a believer, just to look at the ways that God has, to believe in this God, because the things that you've experienced in the past are not done being fulfilled, or have not taken, the seed that was planted has not sprouted yet for some of these things. There's so many, and then to think about all the seeds that still have not bloomed yet. It's kind of overwhelming. You just don't know what to do with that information with our finite minds. Just understanding that all this stuff was planned, and for those who love him, like you said, God brings good and has a plan for those who are called to his purposes and who love him. And it's just amazing that he lets us participate, I guess is the word I'm looking for, in his plans. I don't go day to day thinking I'm actually fulfilling his will or doing this with my life if I'm following him. But that's exactly
Yeah.
what I see when I look at the past and I look at today or just a week ago and what we're talking about now and things you'll say, things somebody else will say, people I talk to, it just sparks things in my spirit where I'm like, this is what happened there. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy that it's all connected.
Yeah. I think about, that picture you're talking about, the cross references. It's amazing. It's actually, we think about all those cross references. It's like the Bible isn't a book. The Bible is 66 books put together into one story and harmonized together, and it's one story. It's like we've never there's nothing like that. There's nothing else like that. So um and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so I mean that's amazing that you mentioned that. Just uh first of all, yeah, it was like our show, I was stressed about finishing the set on time because the venue kept saying that they had a strict deadline. There was another like
Oh, you're
DJ
right.
playing after us, and so I was a little stressed that like we weren't going to have
It
enough
actually was.
time, or we were going to go over, or all this stuff. And I just remember, as our set finished, I looked at the clock and I was just like, wow, we hit exactly 30 minutes. Like and I turned to Justice and was like, dude, we hit 30 minutes. And he was like, no way. Like, like, and it wasn't like,
Dude.
it was just exactly, the amount of time that we needed. And so just thinking back to all the other bands that had to set up and had to play a set, and
Mhm.
just the fact that
Mhm.
that all flowed through. And, right before our set, I was trying to get the samples to work and we couldn't connect the Bluetooth right. For the audio, and then it just seemed to work right then. And same with Nation, and maybe he'll talk about that. Is we couldn't. He was going to play his backing tracks through one of our power amps, and
Yeah.
we could not get his phone to connect to it. And then it just seemed like right before he had like 4 minutes before he had to go on, right before his phone connected, and uh,
Dude,
it ended up working perfectly fine. Like he had no issues with it, didn't cut out or anything. And so I was
the
just
whole
like,
time.
yeah, the whole time I was just like, and I kept expecting, something to cut out the speakers, or it didn't play right
Stop
or
playing.
something.
Yeah.
And no, the show went really, really great. Everything flowed really fine. And, we were very thankful for that. I was just blown away. And then just the fact of, as we were playing, um, the amount of just the crowd participation and the people that were just having a great time. Like it was just the most exciting for a band that's only, really, not a lot of people know us yet, and it really was our second show as this group. People came up afterwards to me and was like, wow, that was amazing. You guys were completely together. We messed up one song and most people didn't even notice, as far as I've heard. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
nobody even noticed our mess up there. And yeah, it just again, it was one of those things where I was like, I was really worried and stressed about a lot of the little details that weren't going to work, like the time of our set, and how are we going to get and is this mixer going to work? Are the samples going to work? Is Nation's set going to be okay? Because we did not give him a lot of time to even prepare, and he did just an amazing job. And it just, I'm, all I could think about when I posted the picture of our show on social media, all I could think about was just I'm in awe of the goodness of Yahweh. Like he's just he filled the gaps where we needed, the parts where we were probably most stressed about. It seemed like there was some supernatural favor there, um, in a lot of those areas. And I think it was just a reminder of like, yeah, you're not worthy of. There's nothing that you've done to be able to, um, of my of
Deserve it.
yeah, to deserve it. And it's just like he's just good. Yeah, God is just he's just good to us. And The more and more I figure that out, the more I tend to I'm clinging on to him, and the more he's teaching me, uh, and the more I'm noticing how more radical I am with being obedient to him. And because there's joy there, there's joy and there's peace there. And it's almost like I can see it in your life too, Luke, is he's kind of molding you through trials to bring you closer to him. And he's doing it with me right now too, especially financially. Um, is is I'm being more and more, I'm feeling more and more broken down with my own power, and I'm having to just I can just see this vision of me just clinging onto Jesus's ankles and just being like, where are we going? I just need to be with you. Wherever we're headed, I just need to be with you, because as long as I'm with as long as we're with Jesus, as long as he's leading the way, it just seems like everything's fine. And everything will be fine, you know?
Yeah, man.
So it was that was something that we definitely got taught through the show, the whole night. Kyle played amazing. This is really only his second show, I believe, and he had his kids there. What an amazing honor that was. Justice had
Yeah,
family there. We all had lots of
never
family
seen
there,
that.
and it was really, really cool. I think my parents ran the merch table. They really enjoyed doing that. Tried to get them in the mosh pit, but they weren't wanting to do that.
Yeah,
But but it was just really cool to see. People were really enjoying themselves, and a lot of people were just really surprised with our performance, and again, I just was like, there is just supernatural grace on our lives, and the only thing that we can do is just share about Jesus, and hope that somebody hears it. And I think that was kind of what I was saying on stage, was I feel called to share about Christ, to anybody who's willing to listen. That's all. Um,
yeah,
yeah, and I think the audience, they got pretty quiet, and I think that's a pretty good sign that people at least respect what you're saying. Uh, when
yeah, definitely.
yeah, nobody was cursing or throwing anything, so that's a good thing.
No, I've never seen anything like this show out of the many that I've done in my life playing music, um, where there was so much family there from everyone supporting it. There was
Yeah,
all the bands were supporting one another. They stuck around to listen to us play this last set, and it might not have been their style of music even, but the venue was so professional and took care of us. Um, I've never experienced something that smooth before. That I was totally expecting just whatever I've known, which is just, hey, this is all going to be kind of a fly by the seat of our pants moment, like any show is. And you just, because there's so many different factors of different people involved that you don't know how it's going to go. You just kind of have to accept that half of it's not going to go like you really really want it to. But this was more than I could have asked for as far as an experience for me and for the other people. And
yeah,
I mean, I'm just and then dude, talking about the samples and stuff again, man. That was the only thing that I was worried about was, is this going to work through their venue? Are they going to be able to help us get it? And it worked for Nation first, but then even after he was like, "All right, we're in business," I thought to myself, "How are we doing ours?" I thought, "How is ours? Is ours going to work the same way?" And ours has to be done individual times. And then we had an 808 pad that Justice hits, and it's a big subsonic boom that comes out of the speakers, like a really low bass that blows out, um,
yeah,
on the breakdowns and stuff. We've never used that live. Um, we were able to get it hooked up and test it out, and he used it beautifully. and it was just all this stuff just like amazed me. But
Dude, it was
that was the only
amazing.
thing I was worried about.
Me too. The sound guy even said he was like, I haven't worked in over 2 months or something like that because he had appendicitis or something crazy. And it was I was very thankful that he was able to know exactly what we needed, and he was awesome. Well, it looks like our guest is here. We're gonna have Nation X join us. Let me get him in here so we can have him chat.
Heck yeah, dude.
Oh,
Ooh, there
hello,
he is.
everybody.
He's on.
What's
Yes,
up,
sir.
I was
brother?
wondering why my little video was in black and white, and I was like, why am I was looking for a setting to change it. It's because I was in the
queue.
dark.
Yeah, you were in the queue.
Okay.
This is Nation X, everyone. He opened for us on Saturday night, and
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
he's also our best friend.
Oh, yeah, yeah, out of anybody.
Yeah, and so he's just Nation, we're just kind of chatting about the show and just
Tight.
telling stories, talking about it. If you want to, just share like what you thought. I was talking about how like 4 minutes before you were to go on, we couldn't connect your backing tracks. And
to the Bluetooth?
Yeah, we were kind of panicking right before. I was like, this isn't going to work. And then it just seemed like right before you had to go on, it connected.
It just clicked on.
Yeah, I was like, thank goodness. So that was.
Yeah, and we were a little late at that point, too. We were running behind and stuff. It was.
I think so.
Yeah.
But,
you got on right at 5 when you were supposed to.
Did I?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It felt like we were like in a run at a time. That's definitely what it felt like. But it went smooth,
Yeah.
Even after you got your samples working, Nation, I was like, oh, I was like, great, but I still was worried about ours for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well then now ours is gonna not work right or something. And just
Well, it's because anytime you're working with that kind of stuff, it's freaky.
Yeah.
It is, dude.
Yeah.
It was like
samples and Bluetooths and widgets.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It all went good. So how did your
it went good.
How do you think your set went? How do you think how do you feel about it?
It felt really good. I had a great time. Like I do say that it does miss because I literally just used backing tracks. I did it solo style. It was really, really fun, but there's something about the sound of real instruments sort of creates that scene that lets you pretend a little better.
Yeah.
So I found myself having a hard time clicking into my pretend mode and really being playful and in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall, for just going up there and having a good time and just being silly a little bit, it went great. It was awesome. It was something I was kind of scared to do, but yeah, no, I think it was really cool and stuff. And it was. I haven't got a chance to. That was the first time I had ever. Well, since 15 years ago, that was the first time I'd ever got to perform my music that I created all by myself. Any other sort of performance I had was always like my lyrics and stuff, but was always other people's music that I may or may not have input on. But that was all me, and so that was a fun feeling for sure. But overall, I felt really good about it.
We were just talking we were like, man, we didn't give you any notice, but you stepped up at the last minute when we needed stepped up when we needed you. And it went great, man. And our guitar player Kyle, he was like, man, I give Nation so much credit. Like, that was ballsy to go up there and be by yourself. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do that. That would have been scary. But man, you showed a lot of boldness and courage just performing, and you look like you had a great time and people enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. And it was something I was definitely, because remember when we first talked, I was like, that's a great idea, James, for another time.
Yeah.
I was like, I would love to. I could do that. I do have a full set. I'll do it next time.
Yeah.
And then I and then we hung up or whatever. and I kind of was like walking around, and like I put on the playlist, and I was like, well, I know the
Yeah.
songs. I'm not gonna know them anymore in the next time. And I called them back, and I was like,
Right.
gosh dang it, I'm freaking in.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. I was like, I'm in. Let's get hot. Like,
Thank gosh.
uh,
Yeah. Because we were like, how are we going to do this show with two bands? You know, that was what we were also like, how are
yeah,
we going to do this? And then it ended up working out that you joined on, and then another band joined on. That was cool.
yeah, especially like 30-minute sets. An hour set's a long set.
Yeah.
That is a really long set.
I don't know how we would have been able to do that, but
A lot. You would have been started having to
we
do
wouldn't.
crowd work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
where are you guys
Yeah.
from?
I would just turn
Yeah,
around
yeah.
and just start being like Matt Rife and just asking people questions.
Yeah, exactly. So is this your girlfriend? You guys dating? You guys dating or not? Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's your mom? Sorry, man. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's your sister?
Your set went great. It was awesome, man. And then you came on and joined
really.
our last song, Robot Powered Island.
Yeah, I know. Your guys' set also. I was so excited because I had seen the last show you guys did, and it was great. You guys did fantastic, but I could definitely feel that there was a little bit more tenacity in the air with this performance. Like with your guys' set, I was like, oh, things are clicking. Like I could definitely feel there was just like you were getting there was definitely a vibe being conjured, And I was so excited to be able to come up and perform that last song with you guys. That was awesome. It was killer. We all crushed it. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think that tenacity was only there in a large part because you opened the show so brilliantly. I've been doing music or been a fan of this music since 2008 and played mostly since then music live also. And I've never seen anything like what I saw at that show when you opened the show up, and it blew my mind, dude. No, I'm telling you the truth. This is just like, and nobody else there, if they're like me, never saw anything like that either. And I've always thought, oh, we could do backing tracks for our songs and do this and that, but just never had the courage to even take that step without other members playing live with us. And so that was miraculous to me, dude. But like we had the energy to do what we did, like we did it because the energy was already there from the beginning.
The entire show just came in hard. All the bands freaking
knew for real.
We started out hot. I got to come in. I got to have a lot of fun, and then all the bands were kind of like bringing their A game for sure. Like I was happy to be able to kind of spark the fire a little bit. It's funny, because I did all the backing tracks, just my whatever, and I remember I took my nephew Orion to a rap concert, and it was this dude Ken Carson, and it was okay, but he didn't even he had just played his songs like I did, and I remember thinking in the moment like that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. No music, no instruments, just him, doing dance moves more than actually even doing the because I did about I tried to keep my lyrics about I got about maybe 75% of my lyrics, and the rest of the time I was doing silly dance moves and stuff. But yeah, I remember seeing it, but then I remember that like actually the more I went on about it, like thought about it after I saw that rap show, I was like, actually that's pretty killer. That's pretty fun to do it. So it really gave me I really got to thank my nephew Orion, because he's the reason why I even because I had never been to a show like that before, and because that rapper was able to put on such an awesome show with just tracks. He really seeing that and being there was like, oh, I could maybe actually do that too. Yeah, because that's a rapper thing, I guess. But
yeah, that is so awesome that you were inspired by that. And it works. It works.
Yeah, because I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Who hired this guy? And I was like, but I could do that. We could, yeah. I think it was great. Yeah.
You're like, I could do it better too.
Yeah.
But you probably did.
Better,
but honestly, it's just I think I'm never gonna forget that or this conversation and stuff either, because I'm glad we archived these podcasts, because this is something I want people to like understand is like this is like your performance and your willingness to step up and how short notice you had and everything is just a testimony to how you put in a certain amount of work and then you see a result from it, and then you just
Yeah.
you're genuine. Like nobody's trying to be anything they're not. Nobody there was trying to be anything they're not, which is rare. Usually there's a band that's just like, thinks their stuff doesn't stink or something, but like the whole environment was just like everybody had that attitude. It was just like, oh, and they even stuck around to watch us play. But dude, and so just an example of like what hard work can get you, but then also just not giving up. Like we didn't say, oh, we can't do the samples, and we just stopped worrying about it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're because it felt like we were running out of time to get set up, and this is for you and us, because you were playing
Yeah.
first, and then sound checks and all that jazz. But it's just how fitting is this and how crazy that I don't think it's a coincidence whatsoever. But we talk about how the band is doing stuff again, and then we have Justice, who used to play guitar, now playing drums, and then we found another guitar player who's like-minded. We never thought we'd find in a million years. And then you come up and you're able to not only open the show for us, but then you're able to do guest vocals on a song that you recorded vocals on over 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's really funny. I kind of forget that sometimes.
So
yeah, me and
I'm
Heath
like,
banged out those lyrics 15 years ago, long time ago.
And yeah, dude, and it's just like, this is the how is it that you agreed to do this with us, and then also, you get to do that with us on the song. It's not like you just came out of the crowd and said, I'm going to do guest vocals. It was like, oh, we're bringing on the actual opener to like finish this off right, and then the whole venue just went crazy. They were like, oh my gosh, the people who were there the whole time. And I was just telling James this too, man. And not another thing that's not a coincidence, dude, because I was gonna tell people about this on the podcast. You told James, hey, I want to get on the podcast tonight. We didn't reach out to you, or I didn't think of asking you to come on. I was just gonna tell your story and be like, that's pretty badass. But the fact that you even the fact that the fact that you reached out and said, hey, I want to get on there. I'm like, this is not a coincidence. Like, he needs to be able to tell this from his perspective also. And that we can all agree on this.
What I kind of think, a couple things. I think that it really kind of shows that, like, if you just keep nurturing relationships, they bear fruit over time. That, like,
yeah,
I got to be on the original track and help with lyrics and track that and stuff. And we've all managed to like keep our relationship nurtured and our friendship alive. And so when you do that consistently, whether it be however many years, there's always going to be more chances to like pluck that fruit, And that was just another thing. So that was just a chance that, like, because we were able to keep our creativity, whether it be like our music stuff or our relationships alive, you get to it's going to bear fruit again, And I think that's pretty cool. Is that, like, when we stick with each other and we keep in each other's lives and we, like, it's going to keep paying off. And I think that's pretty cool. And then also with so keep your friends around. It doesn't matter how old you are. Your friends are your friends. They'll be your friends forever. And you're you're never going to regret loving your friends. But it's funny because I have a tendency to call James anytime he's busy. And I called him a little earlier. I love calling James when he's busy. And so I called him. He didn't answer. And I was like, oh, dang it. He's probably on the podcast. Dang it. And so I went to Facebook to check your guys' Facebook to see if it was streaming. And it wasn't yet, but it was like, oh, we're having just like an open talks or open session. Talk about. I was like, well, I was there.
Yeah,
dude.
And then he called me back, and I was like, can I come on? And he was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. So that's that.
Man.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it was also I think Luke was saying, your set like lowered everybody's anxiety for the show. So we were all very like thankful for how you got the energy started, you got everybody kind of going. You're so loose on stage and so comfortable, and so authentic that it felt like everybody, because the other band Ghost Tale said that they were like, oh, okay, like that was great. It seemed like their anxiety for their set lowered, and I
Kind of
think
just
it had
relaxed everybody a little bit.
yeah, it kind of just relaxed everybody, and we were all I think we were all very thankful for that. That was cool.
That's awesome. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you guys, and I got to play a show. It was awesome. I'm glad that people responded well. Like that's like like one of the things I'm very proud of myself is my creativity. So the idea that like I was able to express myself in like an honest and open way, and I got like legit fun feedback, and I was able to like bring a positive energy or whatever to the entire show is like really meaningful to me. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. We were just again, we were blown away by the audience and the crowd, and people were yelling and shouting and moshing, and we had I think Luke was saying it before you got on, was I loved all the family that was there. I think we're all big on family, and it was just really cool to see all the family that was so supportive. And I think I mentioned something like that in between songs. Was I just thought that was just super cool. We had all ages, kids and
I agree. Orion and his family was there. My mom was there. Heath was there. Kyle and his daughters were there. You guys, that was awesome. Justice and his family were there. Justice, the drummer, he was there, obviously. It was amazing. There was a lot of family there. Your dad, your brother, our friends. We did. We had a lot of family there. That was so cool.
I thought that was the coolest part of the whole night. Was just I kept looking around like, wow, this is really cool. We've got some really good support behind us.
I've never seen anything like that. Usually it's just, all the fans of the other bands, the room is like half full or even less than that of just people that work at the venue watching you play. And then it's almost like not one person was missing from this extravaganza of like, we're all doing this show tonight, and everybody seemed like the room was all full and people were just normal with one. I mean, what Nation said earlier about just being genuine, or just being coming out with his stuff and playing his original material. I'm like, that's really what is attractive, is that you're honest, you come out and like, the genuine, not trying to be anything, because that's where people mess up, is just it's not attractive for people to pretend. And everybody that was there for a good reason. They weren't there just to be seen or to have their friends and whatever. Because usually that's what I see when I go to concerts. It's like, either go or you're square. Were you at the show, man? Oh man, sucks for you, man. It was awesome. And that it's a bragging thing for people, and there was just not that energy there of just people that actually came for real reasons. And I've just never seen that much of an age range for our people watching us play also that was included into it. But it's usually just like, concerts are kind of like a big ego stroke for everybody. I mean, even when fans go to the show, they're stroking their egos with each other, of like, they can't wait to see this band play or this and that, or they're going to go outside and smoke or something and while this band's playing, or they're going to go eat and then come back for the band they want to see play and stuff. And it's really just like a big ego stroke for everyone involved. I think, people go there for their own ego and not necessarily
a big ego stroke off sounds like, no, thank you.
No. Well, it's just
let me get a promise. Nobody's coming to see us for the clout. That's not happening.
That's true. No,
that's not happening.
But that's and that in lies the beauty and why it was so impactful for me was I don't think I've gone to many shows that I've had that feeling coming from that, but it was just genuine people wanting to be there or be around one another And
Yeah.
I never thought it would stretch as far as my brother coming down from Fort Collins. These are people that came to the last show. So I'm like, oh, they're not going to want to come to the same show just a month later. And they did.
Yeah.
That just doesn't, I would have been like, yeah, you don't want to come see the same show you just saw, like the same songs and everything. But it was like, no, we're coming. And I saw people there I didn't think would be there and stuff. And then your family being there too, I was like, this is wild, you know.
Mhm.
If people
Yeah.
just committed to that and we're just there for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the venue was also really great too. I was kind of sharing on that before. The sound guy,
I agree.
he
I
was,
thought it was
Yeah,
awesome.
he can.
he
That dude
really did.
rocked.
Yeah, I was like, I had to send them an email and be like, that guy was awesome. And he told us, you know, he was like, I had appendicitis. I haven't been working for the last 2 months. This is my first time back. And even when we showed up for sound check, he looked nervous. He looked a little like disheveled, because
Yeah.
he hadn't been working in a while. But the guy did amazing, man. We sounded great.
The lights. He did the lights too.
Yeah. I was like, wow. I didn't get a chance to. I think he went home right as our set ended, but I didn't get a chance to tell him, like, dude, that was amazing. Like, wow. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause
Sounded so good.
sounded good, man. And just in the past, we've had, we've encountered people who work in sound engineers, and I just feel like they're not always the greatest, nicest people. And it was just very.
Yeah, he was super friendly and warm and welcoming. Put us all at ease. It was awesome. Yeah, I really liked working with him too.
He was knowledgeable of the stuff, everything we needed. Like that was I felt like that's just not the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely crushed it.
I'm sure Nation can attest to that with other venues that you've played or been associated with, where it's just not the same experience.
Yeah,
like
well, it's just kind of the way it goes. Like engineer, like sound reinforcement types, they're just a different personality, you know. Like I feel like that guy was just really, really nice. I'm not a sound reinforcement guy, and I'm not, So it's always hard dealing with sound guys, but that's just because I don't know. They're there to do a job, and we're there to feel special. So sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. Like,
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like
But that guy rocked.
Yeah, dude, and I felt like I could sense this from them, the way they talked to us and said, "Oh, that was great, guys. Oh, amazing." I could see it on their faces. They were like, "These guys," and we're not like really, really experienced in all of these things, and especially us, at this time. But I could see it on their face and in their tone and the things they were saying, where they were like, "Man, these guys really made it easy for us tonight." And here we are, at least me and James, thinking, "Oh man, this is stressful and this and that," and we're just. But the whole time they're probably like, "We've never dealt with people that were this smooth to like get set up and like just go just one step after the other. It took a lot to set up, but we got it done in a certain amount of time, and then all the way to the end of the night, they probably were just like, I've never dealt with much smoother people that didn't make it a headache for me to sound check their stuff and say, oh, I'm still not satisfied with it. We got to do something else and stuff." And so I could see they were impressed about it too. And here we are, not even really looking to do that. It just naturally, we kind of just fed off of their energy, and it just worked out like that. And I'm looking in retrospect now and saying that's amazing to me.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show, man. I think hopefully we'll plan on having Nation on more.
Yeah, we'll plan on it now.
Oh, are we wrapping up?
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Can I give a shout out real fast?
Yeah, of course, man.
I got to give a shout out to my DJ Rachel the Genius. If it wasn't for her, it wouldn't have been able to happen. Also, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It was great. I cannot wait to drop some more bangers with you guys. Open up for you guys again. Feature again. I'm pumped on it.
Yeah.
I know I'm excited.
I know we had no idea that it was going to flow that well and it was going to sound that great. And it was awesome, So I think we're planning on doing more stuff. So make sure y'all tune into that. Nation, where can everybody follow you and hear
You can find me on Instagram at nation.x _IG. I've got links to my previous published music with previous bands, friggin' bangers, definitely worth checking out. And then I've got the unpublished music that I did all by myself, just links to access it if you're interested in collabing. There's got the tracks that are unpublished. I am technically looking for a drummer or a guitarist. Technically, I love doing it by myself, but I would be happy to have a drummer. You can see me. I'm at the mall a lot. You can find me at the mall.
The mall
I'm a big
rat.
fan of Hot Topic.
Okay.
The movie theater. You can follow me there. You can follow. I'm at Walmart a lot, but primarily Instagram nation.x _IG.
Okay. Sweet. So now you're gonna have some
Dude.
stalkers.
That's it.
Yeah, you can have some people just show up now, dude. And honestly, like it is such good like music that you've created, dude. And for everybody that's in Colorado right now, go hit this guy up if you're a musician or if you're just a fan of heavy, metalcore, deathcore type music. You need to check this guy out. And if you're talented, it might be intimidating when you actually hear what he's come up with, but I'm sure there's people out there that just like this is the chance they were looking for too, just to be like, oh man, this is what I've been looking for my whole time being a musician. And so definitely spread the word, guys. That
Awesome.
We need to play some more live shows.
Cool. All right, well, I'm gonna biggity bounce out of here, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. I love you both so much, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah,
all right, bye, guys.
Love you, man. Bye, buddy. Thanks for coming on. See ya.
All right, love you, bye.
If he knows how to get out, we'll see. Oh, there we go.
That's always.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
That was amazing.
Yeah, like it went really well. Yeah, so guys, go check out Nation. I think it was just really cool. I think he was feeling pretty low about what he was going to do musically. He's been in a couple bands in the last couple of years, and it just didn't really work out with those bands. And so really excited that it seems like he kind of fell into something that he wants to do. I think I think it's a good idea that he'll do, Nation X and promote that. And it would be cool to for him to have a drummer behind him, just to like get the overall sound with his songs. So we're excited to see what he's going to do with all that. And hopefully he plays with us.
It's going to be something great.
Yeah. So stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned.
And that's just a testimony of not giving up and just putting one step in front of the other, man. And like, if he just keeps doing that too, where's he going to be in a certain amount of time, and it gives me hope for life in general and everyone else that I know in life, just to if you take anything away from it, just take this away, that's so much time can pass, but if you just, even if you feel like you've missed opportunities, just return to it. And if you feel like you're too far gone, just turn back to God, because he's just waiting for you. You don't have to retrace your steps like we feel like we have to make up for our lives and what we've done. Like, you just immediately turn in the other direction and start walking that way with his hand in your hand.
Definitely, dude. That's what I think that was a lesson for us this whole week, was like, man, what are we worrying so much about? What, like, Jesus talks about, Father in heaven takes care of the flowers and the birds, and how much more of value are you? And that's something we can remember, that we can lean on is God takes care of those who love him, and it's going to happen. He's not going to let you fall. He's not going to let you fail. And so, that's the amazing part. That's the joy that comes from being obedient to the Lord. And man, I'm learning this as we go. I'm clinging on to him more and more, and I'm getting close. And I almost feel like I'm being more radical with it. Like I'm like, if there's even something that I don't even feel is something that God wants me to do, I don't care what it is. Like it needs to be out of my life. Because I'm starting to see the fruit that's being produced from just feeling something from the Holy Spirit and being like, okay, God, like this is what we're gonna do. If this is what you
Right, when you
want,
put
it'll
your
happen.
trust in Him.
Yeah, if this is what you want, it'll happen. If this is something that you don't want, I trust that you will close the door. Also, because he does that also. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, man.
There's one last thing I wanted to share to like finish this
Yeah,
off, if you don't mind. It's
go for it.
I feel led to share this because I was turned on to this by a sermon that I watched from my old teacher in Macon, Georgia, Rabbi Greg Hirschberg, and he was pointing out the correlation between Old Testament religious practices of the Jewish people and the crucifixion of Jesus Christ and how it
Oh,
all
dude, I
points towards
listened
him.
to that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
Amazing. Yeah,
and
go ahead.
I'll share that part where he said, he said maybe it's a stretch, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys because it doesn't seem like it's that big of a stretch. But when it's Leviticus chapter 4, uh, verse 6, it says, "And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary." And the number 7 is a number of completion, like holy number of completion. That the earth was made in 7 days, or the universe was created, and then God rested on the seventh day. Um, there's 7 repeats so many times, but 7 times. And then if you go all the way to the crucifixion of Christ, you look at the amount of wounds that he suffered when he was killed. You got, when you're crucified, they nail you through the wrists, right? So let's go from the beginning real quick.
Yeah.
He's flogged and whipped. That's the first one. Then after that, they put a crown of thorns on his head. That's number 2 of the wounds that he suffers. Left wrist, right wrist. That's 1, 2. Left foot, right foot. 3, 4. Right there. That's 4 added to the first 2. That's 6. And then you take the last wound that he suffered. It was the spear that was
Yeah.
thrust into his
Huge.
body, and that makes
Yeah.
7. And so the blood was sprinkled 7 times on the altar that day. The ultimate sacrifice was covering the entire earth, and just how brilliant God is to just have that shine through in everything, like how it all lines up. And that's just one of those lines of the 33,000 prophetic references to the Messiah and to all these different things and who the Messiah was. And so that's just so, and we're talking about past and present and how things just were set up for our current reality. It's just
Yeah.
that if that doesn't show you God is uh absolutely intentional with every single thing that he
Yes.
says or tells people to do, and that you should take it that seriously and ask him specifically what we should be doing, then I don't know what is.
Amen, dude. Wow. Yeah, maybe I'll put the link to that video because I've already feel
It's
like I've
amazing,
forgotten
dude.
all of it. But dude, yeah, that was great.
He goes through all of the religious, like on how they're supposed to build the tabernacle, the Ark of the Covenant, and the dimensions and things like that. And you're like, people are like, well, what's the big deal? Like, why does it have to be? He just told you to do it like that. He said this many feet wide, this many. He told Noah, you're going to build it this long, you're going to build it this wide, you're going to build it this high. And he knew that was what he needed to do to get the animals on there and to be able to survive the flood. And if he didn't do one thing that God asked him to do, it would have been a disaster. But he had that faith, and he had that faith in this God that there was going to be rain coming from the sky when it has never rained at that time. There's never been rain that came from the sky, and God said He's going to send a flood. And so in his mind, he's probably thinking, "Oh, okay, all the cisterns and all the underwater wells are going to burst," and that did happen, but it wasn't the main thing that caused the earth to flood, because it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. And so for him to actually see that take place too had to have been a moment of, oh my gosh, you know, uh, he's real, he's serious. He's doing this intentionally. It's not anything you can explain with natural. Oh yeah, well, just we had an earthquake and a bunch of water came up from the ground. No, it just started raining from the heavens, which had never happened before, because people called him crazy. Oh, what do you mean it's going to rain or something? And maybe he didn't even know how it was going to happen. He just knew he had to be obedient. He didn't see the end result in what his actions were getting him. And it's like Christ telling the people who believed in him because of his miracles. He said, "You believe because you have seen me." Or he tells Thomas this, if I put my hand in your side, then I'll believe that he's risen from the dead. And he shows up and appears before him and says, "Go ahead, put your hand in my wounds." And he's like, "My God." And he says, "Blessed are you for believing in me, but for seeing me, but blessed are those more who believe and do not see." And
Yeah.
he's talking about us, the people who are on the other side of this. And for the people who believed before that resurrection, also the faith of the people that had hope in that promise. So and we have hope in that promise still to this day. So it's
Dude,
powerful
yeah, it's
stuff,
like,
man.
it's crazy. It's crazy how much God is teaching the Jewish people and pointing to Jesus also. Like, and that's what Rabbi Greg really, really talks about, is how much
It's
God is
amazing.
teaching us about the Messiah. And what a shame it is that, they didn't recognize the Messiah when he came.
Yeah,
Because again, and
because that was
this is something that we're just human nature. We expect things to be how
yeah,
we want them to be, and we do that with our own
right.
lives. We're like, God, I want this. And then a lot of times we'll be upset with the blessing because God does it in his way and not in our own way, or not the way that we see it. And so we get upset with God. I think, I struggle with that a lot. But just some of the things that you were saying was, God is really teaching them about his character and about pointing to Jesus, and they didn't recognize it. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I wish we had more time to talk on that, but maybe we can next week.
Well, yeah, maybe we can share the video, and then the next
Yeah.
podcast might be a good. We could do some commentary and see what
Let's
other
do it.
people might think of it, and it'd be like a homework thing for people if they really want to. And then we can share it again on the day of the podcast, and see if anybody has time to watch that hour-long sermon or something. Because
It's
it's
good,
really
man.
amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's really, really good. So yeah, maybe I'll put the link in the comments or something, and in the description, so if you guys are interested. But
That'd
yeah,
be awesome.
this is episode 69 of the Finding Neverland podcast. We love you guys. Thank you so much. I hope if you were at the show on Saturday night, let us know if you had a good time, or if you heard us for the first time. We'd love to hear stories like that. I think that's what this episode is we just wanted to share on the goodness of God, and just how it flowed amazingly, and just everything that we were worried about ended up working out better than we had even planned. So and then obviously we had our buddy Nation X open up the show, and he featured on a song with us. So I'll put his info in the description as well if you guys want to go check out his music, and hopefully we're going to be
Yeah.
we're planning on doing more collabs in the future and things like that. So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
definitely.
guys. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube or our Spotify when we post our podcast episodes. We are at Finding Neverland Band. You can find us pretty much anywhere to stay updated on every episode. And when we post new music, which our plan is, we are going to take a little bit of a break from shows and just work on recording some new music for you guys and see how that goes. So if you guys could pray for us to just stay on top of the vision of what we want to do. We have a couple songs we want to record, and we want to start recording new things, and and we have a couple other amazing musicians, Kyle and Justice, that are just incredible. So we're really excited to make some new stuff with these guys. So follow us on Spotify and social media at Finding Neverland Band. And there was a lot of people also at the show that were asking about merch. We didn't have a lot of merch at the show in everybody's sizes. So if you want to get something, we do have merch at online, and I could put the link in the description
That's
as
a
well.
lot of links.
Yeah, it's a long link. I think I'm gonna fix the
Yeah.
URL on that, but we do have some stuff online if you guys are interested in getting something like that. So until next time.
Totally.
Until next time, we love you guys. Luke, do you wanna pray for us, and then we can get out of here?
Yeah. Yeah, sure,
And
man.
we'll see you next week.
That
Yeah.
sounds good, man.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. God, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to just acknowledge your goodness and thank you and praise you for these divine appointments that we've been given since our birth, that our birth was even thought about before we were born. Lord, you had us, in your thoughts before our existence even came into being. And this is every human that's ever existed, Lord. You just are mindful of every creature that you've created, from telling Noah to put the animals on the ark to save what could be saved, Lord, um, and to your son giving his life as this spotless, blameless lamb and suffering the brutal, bloody sacrifice that was necessary to pay for the penalty and the consequence of our sin, Lord. We just are standing in awe of everything that you do and these intricacies, Lord, that people, might overlook if there's not focused on you or looking for them, God. And so I just pray that we continue to be open to them and look for these things that you're wanting us to see, and just thank you for letting us even participate in your plan for our lives and for the world, Lord. Just pray that everybody feels that from you, Lord, if they seek you and find you, because that's what will happen if you are sought, Lord. And you tell us to just keep knocking and the door will be opened to us, and keep asking and you will be given what you ask for. So we just pray for everybody who hears the words we're saying tonight, Lord, that it finds them, you know, um, in a willingness to accept things that are not well accepted and not mainstream today, to just put your hope and faith into, Lord. But we are just living testimonies of your truth, and everything in darkness will be brought to light, Lord, eventually. And it's being done right before our eyes and in our own midst in this generation, God. Even in the end days, we're seeing it speed up also, Lord. And everything will be brought to light, Lord. And
Come on.
it's just I had something else I wanted to tell you guys, but uh, I just got stumped, Lord. That's pretty much all I wanted to I talk about, you know. But just you would invade people's consciences, Lord, and
Yeah.
give us strength, hope, and peace to heal us from everything that ails us, Lord, and show us how to overcome these things so that we can also help other people overcome them. And that's really the meaning of life, Lord. It's just the meaning of why you created us, to overcome the pain that we know so well in life with your help, and only by your hand can we do it, and then to teach other people how to do it as well, Lord. That there is no peace aside from you, that there's a peace that the world gives, but it is temporary and fleeting, and yours is eternal, and we want to be with you for eternity. So we thank you and we love you.
Yes.
And we pray all these things in your son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Thank you. Amen. It's wonderful. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for that, Luke. Appreciate y'all listening. This was episode number 69. Blessings to you all this weekend. Yeah, we will hopefully we will be seeing you again soon, and come tune in next week. We do this on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So come hear the word of God, and come spend some time with us. So we love you guys. We love having everybody listening, and we appreciate it, all the support. So
Totally.
Yeah,
That's fellowship.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, till next week. We will see you. Have a good evening and a good weekend.
All right. God bless you guys.
Yeah. Later.
All right. See ya.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Finding Neverland podcast. We pray that you were challenged, encouraged, and uplifted as we seek to establish the kingdom of heaven. If you were impacted by our band, or if you would like to partner with Finding Neverland, please email us at findingneverlandband, then the number 7, @gmail.com.